Well, here we are. Start of yet another carbon copy Undertale video essay retrospective by some random white person. I sat on this script for 3 whole days and couldn't think of a funny intro, but at least I've finally beaten an Undertale pacifist route. It was really quite the journey, and I learned a lot about the game I didn't actually care to learn before. I've been a bit on and off about Toby Fox's games over the years, but I always enjoy them whenever I come back. I've never beaten a pacifist route before. I've done a few neutral and big unalive runs, but for some reason never ended up doing a pacifist run back when I was really big on this game. Eventually I moved on to other things, but Undertale was always in the back of my mind. Eventually, I started this channel and saw Undertale in my Steam library while looking for video ideas. Why not? I thought. Undertale was a game I hadn't played in a while, but it could be a fun series. Over the course of my playthrough, I learned a lot about myself and the game. Not just during the series, but my own life, too. It's been a strange period in my life, but I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'll discuss more of my experiences later on in the video, but for now, let's talk about the funny monster game. This video is, of course, being made in conjunction with the conclusion of my own Undertale playthrough on this channel. If you haven't already, make sure to go check it out. It was a really fun time. The way Toby writes his characters to have such great interactions and humor, but also create such complex personalities and backstories is incredible. The way he makes great physical comedy makes the game super fun to experience, and the way he has his characters interact so well creates a sense of immersion and makes everything feel so real, which makes killing them hurt even more. You end up connecting with these characters so much over the course of the game, and I think that's not only really cool from a storytelling and writing perspective, but also really helps enhance the game's theme and how hard it hits overall. Take Papyrus, for example. He's a very humorous character with his wacky hijinks, and probably a great showcase of Toby's character design style. But at his core, Papyrus just wants to be someone important who has a lot of friends and who everyone looks up to. He learns and grows over the course of the game, but none of the characters are perfect by the end. It shows a realistic amount of character development while not understating the impact you've had on every character's lives. Alphys may not be the person she wants to be yet, but she's still become so much more confident in herself. I want to talk about the humor more, because Undertale has some pretty dang good humor. Toby's mix of physical humor and clever wordplay is tough to pull off, but he does it really well. Using Papyrus as an example again, his exchanges with Sans are great, with them exchanging lines back and forth, and I especially love the scene where they confuse the player for a rock. Papyrus is a funny character in himself with his happy-go-lucky nature and human capturing and confidence, which puts him in all sorts of funny situations. The Temmies, I think, are supposed to partially be a reference to the Mr. Saturns from the Mother games that Toby has been known to pull from since his first game was actually the Earthbound Halloween hack. Bit of Toby lore for the 3 people who didn't know already. But the Temmies are humorous in their own right. The way they talk is funny in a much different way than the Saturns, and Temmy Village is riddled with great lines. But then we get to the Metaton Hotel, and we meet Burger Pants. You think, oh, it's just gonna be another funny shopkeeper with some silly lines and good items. But that thought quickly turns to the realization that this is the best character in the game. I can't even do him justice. Go watch Shifrose Productions' Undertale video to get the full Burger Pants experience. Now, on to the part where I talk about the story, so spoilers ahead for, the people who haven't played the incredibly popular 7-year-old game and still clicked on the video anyway. As most of you already know, at the start of Undertale you get the funny exposition cutscene that tells you that long ago, humans and monsters had a big war, which the humans won, so they locked the monsters underground with a magical barrier that only the power of 7 human souls could make. Magic also exists, in case that wasn't obvious enough already. I'm gonna go ahead and go through this in chronological order, and speculate on what I don't know. You guys can correct me in the comments. Generations later, probably, I'm pretty sure humans don't have magic. Back when the war ended, Mount Ebott was probably off limits or something, but now kids go up there all the time apparently. The first to do this was a girl named Kara. I'm pretty sure Kara's female and it's just frisked its envy, but I don't know. Also, yeah, I say it like that, cry about it. Who was found and adopted by a family called the Dreamers, who are a bunch of goat people who, oh yeah, also happen to be royalty. They live happily for an undetermined amount of time, but at some point, Kara and Asriel are playing around in the flowers, which are poisonous, I think, or Kara has some allergy, which I thought because of a line Toriel has, but no, I'm pretty sure they're just straight up poisonous. And Kara decides to eat some. Naturally, she freaking dies, and everyone's really sad. Basically, Kara just committed life off, and I don't know why. If there's any, lore-related reason, let me know. Kara wanted to see the flowers of her home village one last time, but died before that, so Asriel, the Dreamer's son, because I didn't state that yet, absorbed her soul and carried her body through the barrier to the village of the humans. The humans see Asriel at the center of the village and think he killed Kara, so they attack him. He doesn't fight back because he probably doesn't want to see any more death, or maybe just because he doesn't want to kill anyone or something. So he just smiles and walks back to the underground, even though he could have killed them all easily. He collapses and turns to dust once he gets back, scattering his dust over the flowers. This is an important detail, so remember it. The whole underground is grieving afterward, and Asgore, the king, declares that any human that falls down shall be killed. This pisses off Toriel, who thinks the whole thing is stupid and leaves Asgore. After all this, Asgore forms the Royal Guard to kill any children they encounter, only the human ones, don't worry, and tells the Royal Scientists, probably Alphys, but I have no clue what's going on with Gatcher, so I won't go into all that. I will go into all that. So the core was built sometime, I'm pretty sure, before Kara, and at some point Gaster fell into it, shattering him across space and time, according to this NPC. He ends up completely forgotten after that, save for some followers we get lore from. He's presumed to write entry 17 in the True Lab, which is completely in Wingdings, and says, "Darker, darker, yet darker. The darkness keeps growing, the shadow is cutting deeper. This next experiment is going to be very, very interesting. What do you two think?" Which comes right after entry 16, where Alpha says, "No, no, 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 no," likely referencing either the amalgamations or entry 18, where she simply writes, "The flower's gone," referring to the flower from the Royal Garden they were infusing with determination, which will also become relevant later. Pretty cool. So Alpha starts doing some tests with determination to try and revive some monsters while unlocking the secret to eternal life along the way or something like that. Naturally, the process goes wrong, creating the amalgamates. So yeah, all that happens, and then over time, 6 humans all fall into the underground and die before the events of the story. Eventually, our main character Frisk falls down, and here's where things get a bit complicated in terms of souls. See, Frisk has this special, ability that lets their soul persist after death, so they can come back after dying. So, Frisk is just a god? None of the other humans had this little quirk, obviously. So what's up with Frisk? Anyway, Frisk clears the underground easily and then finds all the stuff that's been going on, does a bit of time travel, then beats up God like it's nothing. Seriously, what is with this kid? Azrael has the equivalent of 7 human souls in him, which is apparently just limitless power. I think he'd probably just, explode if you had any more or something that's not really, touched upon in the games at all. And Frisk doesn't even bat an eye! Not that they really, have any on their sprite to do so. Anyway, yeah, Frisk saves everyone and then goes to live with Toriel. This is the canon true ending, I don't care what you say. That just about concludes the pacifist route story, but we still have a couple more to tackle. In the genocide route, you just kill everyone and give Kara your soul, and then you can't get rid of that without some extra-dimensional shenanigans. I hit my mic. And then you can't get rid of that without some extra-dimensional shenanigans, which is called going into the files and deleting your past sins. It's a very nice life hack. In the neutral route, you just beat up Omega Flowey and leave. They're fun, short enough little experiences, but really don't stand up to the true ending. Unless you're, into slaughtering countless innocent monsters, of course, but who would do that, I say, with my probably 5 genocide route wins under my belt. So yeah, that was a pretty cool thing that happened. Anyway, let's talk about how this game plays. Undertale's a bullet hell, where your soul, this little red heart thing, is stuck in this tiny little box and you have to move it around to dodge attacks. A really simple concept that Toby takes to 11. He adds all sorts of things: healing bullets, homing attacks, anti-homing attacks, blue and orange attacks, which hit you when you are and aren't moving respectively, and even combo attacks when you're fighting multiple enemies. It's incredible what he was able to do with a genre this simple. He also puts a lot of puzzles into the game, some of which are required and some of which are ball. A lot of them are really creative and fun. Some of them are simple and show you the ropes, and some of them can get really annoying. An interesting thing about the genocide route is you don't really have to do any puzzles past the ruins because Flowey decides to be cringe and solve them all for you, which admittedly does help you kill everyone faster. Another interesting thing Toby puts in the game is the little soul color gimmick. I'm not really sure how this works from a lore standpoint because all the other souls are different colors and some of them are the same colors your soul becomes throughout the game. But whatever. These include a blue soul, which turns the game into a platformer and is used in a grand total of 3 battles. A green soul that stops you from moving but also gives you a shield to block attacks, which is exclusive to Undyne. And a yellow soul, which lets you wield a gun. And this one is used against Mettaton and Alphys' little final boss portion. It's a really cool mechanic that forces you to think differently than you do for the rest of the game. There was also that one secret boss fight in the Switch version that gave you a half light blue, half red soul that you had to use Joy-Cons for, but we won't talk about that. There are also a few fights that shift the box and buttons around, namely Sans expanding the box sometimes and summoning Bones outside of his turn, which isn't exactly fair, but hey, neither is Immortality, so shut up. Undyne also makes the box bigger or smaller for some attacks, mostly during the Undyne the Undying fight. Asgore does also notoriously destroy the Mercy button, and the Act menu becomes a save menu during the last phase of the Azrael battle, letting you save all the souls of your friends. All of these are really fun ways that Toby changes the style of the game subtly, while also keeping it organic and recognizable. It's really cool. This game hits hard, there's really no doubt about it. Toby managed to create an experience that was really emotional but still fun to replay when you get the chance. It's even more impressive that it's a game he made mostly by himself, with some help from a few friends. He's an excellent game designer, composer, and he's great at making characters and writing dialogue, among other things. I've said it before, but again, it's incredible what he was able to create. As of this video's release, the first 2 chapters of Deltarune are out, and they're really just incredible. Chapter 3 is apparently on its way, and I personally can't wait to see where he takes the game. Thank all you so much for watching this video. My Undertale series was a lot of fun to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. It's so cool to see how many people are seeing my stuff, and I hope to keep growing and making better and better content. I won't spoil anything yet, but I've got a lot in store for the rest of December, even if I'm not monetized yet. I will say though, that you guys can expect a lot more Pikmin content, because that does seem to be getting more views. And I just love the series a bunch. I might have to put the Minecraft Hardcore series on hold for a while after that, but it'll be back at some point for sure. I don't have too much to talk about besides that, but I want to tell you guys to like the video if you enjoyed it, comment your favorite thing about Undertale, and subscribe with notifications so you don't miss what I've got coming up. This has been a great video, but it's over now. So until next time, this is Shoot Kapow, over and out. Hey gamers, that is the first thing of the blooper reel. Make sure to tell your friends to watch to the end of the video so that they don't miss that. He's a very humorous character with his funny likes and wacky height. Funny likes? What does that mean? Funny... Okay, well, I'm just gonna gloss over that. But at his core, pirates. Yahaha. I'm gonna go ahead and go through this in chronological. Okay, thanks, throat. My mask is falling down, that's crazy. Anyway, where was I?